What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another FM23 video. This one is where we'll be covering another tactic on my Manchester United stream save over on Twitch. On Twitch, we'll be, doing some different tactics as well as we go more into it. But this I've already also uploaded for those that are over on my Patreon. So for early access to tactics and Patreon-only tactics that I will do for those supporting over on there. You can go take a look if you want to, but we're still going to be making more YouTube videos for extra tactics. So keep your eyes peeled just on the channel. But this was a great run of form we went on. I did want to put the formation, there so you guys know which one we used. But you can tell the difference is, we maybe had a couple at 4-3-3 there, but 4-2-3-1 pretty consistent. And yeah, we're going to run through the tactic, and that's the thing. Like for the tactic on Patreon, you can get a direct download opposed to try and copy everything. And we'll talk about quite a few things here, and then a standout match or matches that were really important. Of course, we've brought in some quality as well. We've really got the best out of Marcus Rashford just over the first couple seasons, but this season more relevant, where we altered the tactic a little bit. Funnily enough, the first season we were really using the setup that I used in the Barca vid, for those of you guys that check that out, where we won the league and Champions League first season with Barca, with, of course, alterations to suit the team. You have to do that. It's not always strictly copy-paste. But yeah, smashing goals. But at the same time, he's still really, really well rated. Like, there was a point he was seen as world-class. It said he was world-class, but as elite winger, leading Premier League. Yeah, somewhere I remember reading him, playing through the save. He's world-class. You can see that off his attributes and performances anyway. So, Marcus, absolute quality. So, a couple things. Like, this might be something more on the simple side, but because Camavinga was left-footed and we were playing the ball-winning mid on the right side, we were rotating. Another one we signed was Manu Kone. Unfortunately, he got injured. And this is where it's all down to player style as well. I really like the thought of using him as a ball-winning midfielder and runs the ball through the center, really good dribbling. He's just that different type. He didn't do too crazy, but yeah, first season you brought him in for that. So yeah, we'll run through the tactics and then some different individual things. So a key, like I said, there's changes. If we go to what we had, like the 4-3-3 system, that was really good. Something notable, that was, again, like I said, that Barca tactic with a few alterations here or there to suit the team. Obviously, Fernandes is not playing DM. That's just what happens when you change it. We really started to flourish. We put the wingers or the inside forwards, but yeah, left wing and right wing on support, and then the fullbacks, the wing backs on attack duty, where they're going to be really, really flourishing. We brought in Luke Thomas. Leicester City got relegated. So yeah, those two guys, perfect as wing back. We'll click on Frimpong. You can really, really pacey. Even though you might not see they'll get crazy assists, but they still get a decent amount. Luke Thomas has got 4. But they just provide threat and they provide key chances, even if they don't directly come from their crosses or balls. So yeah, keep that in mind. But we shall go through the in possession. So shorter passing, slightly higher. This is a big mix and match one for me. Like in game, you have to make changes. Like we were doing direct and we were finding it was slowing down a bit. So we went discipline, trying to pass shorter. Sometimes I feel we need to load the tempo. It's generally a feel. It's a case-by-case situation. You have to alter your tactics depending who you play on. Of course, that's a big thing this year. That's almost just like advice. That's advice from myself. So sometimes, we like to go like that, like a really high tempo and play the short passing, then go expressive. So, yeah, I could easily just land on something like that and then just go back to discipline. And, yeah, those 3 options can alter. and it's going to be a case-by-case situation. It's not the worst thing to freshen it up every few games as well. Keep oppositions on their toes, because we know, they're going to read your tactics. That's what FM is like. But yeah, a big thing, very, very notable. We have work ball into the box, and overlap is where we talked about the wing backs really coming into play. And yeah, that's why we switched up to use this a little bit, because we went with direct and higher tempo, because I felt we were in a bit of a rut like last season. So we went into this season this way. And yeah, that's why we've got like two remaining tactics here. 4-2-4, which was a bit up and down normally, or definitely not starting with it, just to go attacking late in games. We're playing with a ball, playing defender, so obviously self-explanatory. Whoever's going to be your best ball-playing defender type, use there. And, Varane, I'd say he's our best. I mean, if you look at his role and duty, it's the best for him. But I don't like his vision individually, but he seems to play really well. He's getting older, but we're not really worried about, at least for this video, is about squad planning too much. And De Gea, we've tried to get rid of. It's been mad. I actually renewed his contract, or not renewed his contract the first season. I triggered an extension because it was running out. So once more, so you're probably going to see me using similar player instructions. This is down to the style. Like, to tackle harder, you will notice every single player, not as many additional instructions on the attacking midfielder, so leave that as it is. But it also, you could probably do a bit more. Like, I felt shoot less often, I think, could fit into our current instructions with everyone else, but changes we've made, it's changed. Like, we've got that with Felix, so it's very mixed. Like, on the right side, we don't have that. We don't have it selected, because I mix and match it a lot to really find what's working, and to keep it simple as that. Those are very little things that you can see what's going to suit your your players individually. What we were just saying before, it depends on your team, and you're gonna get a feel of that. Someone like a Jadon Sancho, we know he's more creative as well. Even though we don't have shoot less often for him, I feel in a way it's your players that actually doesn't suit Felix as much. But sometimes we use Felix through the middle, and we rotate Fernandes and Gavi, who's been a very good signing and was only 42 million, but the review of the transfers, not so much for this video. But yeah, like I said, it's all going to be about matching your players, and you will find that. You will find that in your own respective saves. Really depends who you're managing. And yeah, Gavi, dribble more, tackle harder. More than Gavi, I should say. As I said, we talk about the position. If someone else, we rotate. Talk about Camavinga, shoot less often. Obviously, not as efficient. The ball winning midfielder. You want to be focused on defending, getting those interceptions, and then playing off a pass. But he gets in some good attacking positions as well when we're moving forward. So he's balanced really, really well. We talked about the wing backs, so they take more risks. And again, shoot less often is on quite a few players there. And you've got stay wider, tackle harder. Varane has a conflicting trait with that, does not dive into tackles. But yeah, that all mix and matches with, here you go, the pressing. We've got a high defensive line as well, higher press. This is something we don't change as much, like we've talked about everything else, so we might chop and change instructions depending on the players and whatnot. But this is something that stays very, very steady and is a big way to our style. Obviously, with the high press, and then like we're triggering the press much more often, prevent the short distribution for the goalkeeper. There's some of those things that I always generally select. And one of the biggest things, you might wonder, the opposition instructions, that's where it's going to be so different. So if we go into positions here, we've got nothing selected. Before games though, it depends, because also in the lower leagues, I know because I got my Boston United save, which I'm streaming now on Twitch as well, you don't get advice before the game. I don't know if it's like semi-professional level, but you get all the other advice, but you don't really get like opposition instructions advice. So I apply my own, but that's a completely different subject and different tactics. But just so you get the point, it depends what level you're playing at. Obviously, this is recommended for, if not a top division, you're at least a pretty solid team in your league, in your division. So, my opposition instructions is all assistant based. What my assistant recommends before game and during the game. As I said, we get a lot of, some people have tactics where you don't need actually so much with your opposition instructions. There's two things right there. It's the pressing, which you can activate through opposition instructions, as we see, where the trigger press, and then also tackling. I just showed you, like every single player, every position is going to be tackling harder, well, apart from the goalkeeper. So they're like two of the opposition instructions you select, already done. You can think about show onto weaker foot. That might be sometimes suggested by your assistant, like I said. And I wanted to point it out just because, as I said, like with the players and whatnot, reviewing all of that is not too crazy. But we found an amazing, one of the most craziest, I wouldn't even say he's assistant manager, like head of youth development. Well, the game sees him ahead of youth development. We've selected him to control the youth intakes though, because he's incredible. We already had a decent head of youth development. Coaching ability is pretty good, and even his knowledge. But I want to see this man, John Just Pereira. Just have more roles. He gives quality advice, even though his tactical knowledge is only 15. But I'm really convinced with him. I'm really happy with him in training. So that's going a bit off subject, but not as off subject as well. Training plays a part into your performances. That's where you could link. Maybe I might do another video that. Leave a like, leave a comment if you want to see that, how you can incorporate training and training into your tactics. Because that's definitely something in Football Manager where you can base it on the upcoming games, but then also your style and what you need to work on, what's been your weaknesses. You can really go so deep with it. So generally there we've covered the main details. You see, we've got just roll it out, distribute to centre backs, keep it relatively simple. And like I said, it's pretty dominant. I want to test. I definitely want to test this with a few other teams. Maybe give me some suggestions, because I want to know what, like, when you view tactics videos, what, like, obviously you don't want to see, like, I mean, you might want to. It all depends. But maybe it's just depending on the tactic. Like, what teams generally do you want to see tactics with? Next up, I'm thinking a bit more of a challenging one, like say a team that's expected to get relegated. But what should be the goals for it to be a notable tactic? Just so I get your guys' opinions on that. Say if I do a team, like I said, expected to get relegated or just escape relegation, what should be the goals of that being a notable finish and kind of worthy of a video? Because, I think I want to work on that next. Maybe a 5 at the back formation, countering, and because we're still so early in FM23. We played a lot on the beta. We're, of course, on the full game now. But I'm going to be transitioning to do a lot of different saves, just privately get these tactics videos out, because I absolutely love doing tactics. You might notice by making these videos. But there's really a lot more that I want to create. I like creating unique tactics. So far, we've done like a 4-3-3 and a 4-2-3-1. Boo. Like, that's... the response of people. Come on, do something a bit more unique. But at the same time, some of you guys might be looking for efficient tactics, and definitely, especially even if you're like a mid-table team, I think this should be very efficient. If you've got the required players, if you've got creativity and your defenders are solid enough, it all depends on the personnel. So we've got more of that to cover. As I said, for early access to my tactics, that will be over on Patreon, and I will do some Patreon-specific ones, just, as I said, for those supporting over on there, just some extra benefits, right? For the fact they're subscribing for the content I provide. Definitely we're going to have more tactics videos, as I know, you guys like to see them, and I just want to provide some good football for you guys and what you'll be able to execute. So, probably, so let's go towards the end of the season. For me, this is pretty notable. I know we're Manchester United and we have got some good players. Manchester City. So yeah, 4-2-3-1. You know how I touched on before? We felt things dwindling. Yeah, we went on a port. For those on the stream, 4-3-3 was just falling apart. We switched it up against Sociedad. We were on the verge. We were like getting knocked out. And even though we ended up getting knocked out against Roma, we saw a change. Unfortunately, it was very tight. We lost 2-0 away and we won 1-0 at home. We prevented them, defensively, we were very good. And yeah, we finished off the season very strong. It's that feeling where, when you get you create like a new tactic for yourself or the team and you get excited for next season because that's a messed up run. No two ways about it, even though City and Liverpool were part of it. That was my defense anyway. That was my defense. So the first of these was, late last season, the first of the Man City games, and look how we went into this. Anthony Martial up top, Rashford over on that left side when I talk about, the different players and playing in different positions. Bruno Fernandes, Sancho, we played Eriksen and Casemiro. We actually sold Casemiro, another year older. He was on 300k. So that's what I mean. We were playing the ball-winning midfielder there. We switched over to the left side when we brought in the man himself in Camavinga, just for little reasons. And look, Maguire. Martinez and even Martinez isn't rated like so well, and we know what Harry Maguire is. Don't need to speak too much on him. Like he looks pretty average, really. And then we were playing Luke Shaw and Dalot. Dalot, he's quite good, but I think attribute-wise, he's not that great. He's just like 3-star. Like, he's not out of this world, but he just flourished. And it was, again, that focus of getting the fullbacks as wing-backs, getting them really involved in the play. And then you switch over to Man City's side and, notable players. Take a look at the bench as well, so see who was involved in all of the game. But like Haaland did nothing, and he was like misplacing passes, all that. And look at Bernardo Silva, 6.2. De Bruyne, nothing. Look at those three: Haaland, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne doing nothing. Those big names just absolutely killed them. And defensive, they still had on target, but they still had 9, so they had their chances. But we just had a sublime attacking performance through a 5-2 here, and Haaland nowhere to be seen. When does that happen? And early, like in the other City games, they were killing us. Haaland was killing us. So then we go over to the next season. So, beating City twice by 3 goals. Look, at this time, it was more a comprehensive performance. And this is pretty early in the season as well. So, City were still having that game, I think, late in the season in their mind. And we just came to show it was not luck and it wasn't end of the season type stuff. This was early in the season this time around. We got a few yellow cards. Also, key piece of information, make sure you listen to this. As soon as your player gets a yellow card, then ease off tackles. In-game, ease off tackles. So I think I'm giving you as much information as I can again. And ironically, the centre-backs didn't get the best of ratings. And once more, Martinez was involved. And look at it. Look, I don't even think this was our strongest team. And again, we brought in João Felix, incredible player, but he's not lighting the league up, but he's going to continue to progress, hopefully. But then you got Sancho, Anthony, and they haven't been as good as I expected them to be, but they've been okay. Camavinga, I was so happy with his performance. As you see, pretty early in the season, and with that signing, and you see him perform like that, you're really, really happy with it. De Gea, obviously class to keep a clean sheet. They had 7 on target, so it was just a clinical finishing. And we'll run through some of the goals. So we've got some highlights as well, and we'll do it for this one. So it's the most recent highlights, and definitely it's all our action. It's all our action of goals. So let's take a look. As you can see, Jadon Sancho out wide on the ball. Quick part. Look at that by Camavinga. Just strength. Definitely that's player quality. And Dalot, he just goes bang. Incredible from your fullback Camavinga again. See, that's where tackle harder comes into it. And then Rashford with a class finish. Look at the time. It was just quick bang. And I knew we were in control once more. Felix. See, sometimes the simple passes through, then Marcus Rashford, then just going around. Edison, come on. And that was all the goals in the game. Then we held them off defensively. Of course, yellow cards came in a little bit, but, that's our style. But as I said, we ease off tackles for players on those yellows when they pick them up. So that was the review there, and I think that's probably the perfect way to round it up with those couple City results. So if you wanted direct downloads on my Patreon, but I went through pretty thoroughly, I think, for the different tactic ideas. I had something else in my mind. For more tactics, I'm gonna be doing on Twitch. Be sure you follow. I'll be doing like create a tactic type stream, so you can see the process. It's definitely not over. We don't select tactic, player roles, positions, and it's good from the off. We go through a season, or even like you see, we're season 2 here, and then you find something that feels really, really complete, and you beat Man City 2 times in a row, and Erling Haaland is non-existent. Where was Erling Haaland here? I don't know. I have no idea where he is. But at the same time, they play really. I think that was the rotation they had, most definitely. Yeah, they signed Evan Nilsson, and we know Evan Nilsson is a really good striker as well. So, he was suggested a lot. Then City signed him, but they just really did not provide anything in this match, attacking-wise, a little bit, but we held them off. So, anyway, as I said, direct downloads of my FM23 tactics going to be on Patreon. And I'm going to be trying to do a lot, as I said, for those that subscribe on there, for it to be worth it. I just want to be making a lot of tactics. But then also I want to make some interesting videos as well. I want to do some unique tactics for you guys on YouTube. So, I just want to be doing a lot of the content. And I appreciate all you guys' support. Thank you very much. As I said, follow on Twitch. We'll be experimenting with different tactics. And I've got my non-league save as well that I'm streaming over there, and I'll do yearly updates on YouTube. So we just got so much just cranking out the FM content. So hopefully you enjoy it all, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.